On June 10, 1940, following the German invasion of France and the lowlands, the Kingdom of Italy declared war on France and the United Kingdom and entered World War II. Italy went to war with the fifth largest navy in the world. Citation needed. Italian dictator Benito Mussolini saw the control of the Mediterranean Sea as an essential prerequisite for expanding his new Roman Empire into Nice, Corsica, Tunis and the Balkans. Italian naval building accelerated during his tenure. Mussolini described the Mediterranean as Mare Nostrum, our sea. Before the declaration of war, Italian ground and air forces prepared to strike at the beaten French forces across the border in the Italian invasion of France. By contrast, the Regia Marina prepared to secure the lines of communications between Italy, Libya and the East African colonies. The Italian High Command, Comando Supremo, did not approve of the plan devised by the Italian Naval Headquarters, Supermarina, to occupy a weakly defended Malta, which proved a crucial mistake. British High Command, thinking Malta could not be defended due to the proximity of Regia Aeronautica air bases in Italy, Sicily, and Libya, had put little effort into bolstering the island's defenses. Thus, at the outset of the war there were only 42 anti-aircraft guns on the island and 12 Gloster Sea Gladiators, half sitting in crates at the wharf. Entering the war, the Regia Marina was operating under a number of limitations. Though significant assets were available to challenge the Royal Navy for control of the Mediterranean, there had been a lack of emphasis on the incorporation of technological advances such as radar and sonar. This meant that in night engagements or foul weather, the Italian ships were unable to detect the approach of their British adversaries. When engaged, they could only range their guns if they were able to visually locate their targets. The Regia Marina had 6 battleships with which to contend for control of the Mediterranean, the 4 most modern of which were being refitted at the outbreak of the war. In addition to the 6 capital ships, the Italians had 19 cruisers, 59 destroyers, 67 torpedo boats, and 116 submarines. Though the Regia Marina had a number of fast new cruisers with good range in their gunnery, the older classes were lightly built and had inadequate defensive armor. Numerically, the Italian fleet was formidable, but there were a large number of older vessels, and the service suffered in general from insufficient time at sea for crew training. A further key disadvantage in the convoy support and interception battles that dominated the Battle of the Mediterranean was the intelligence advantage granted to the British in intercepting German ultra and, through this, the key information on Italian convoy routes, times of departure, time of arrival, and makeup of the convoy. The warships of the Regia Marina had a general reputation as being well designed. Italian small attack craft lived up to expectations and were responsible for many successful actions in the Mediterranean. Though Italian warships lacked radar, this was partly offset in fair weather by good optical rangefinder and fire control systems. The Italian Navy lacked a fleet air arm. Citation needed. The High Command had reasoned that since the Italian Navy would be operating solely in the Mediterranean, their vessels would never be far from an airfield, thus the time and resources needed to develop a naval air arm could be directed elsewhere. This proved problematic on a number of occasions. Though the Italians did have the aircraft carriers Aquila and Sparviero under construction at the start of the war, neither one was ever completed. Lastly, the lack of natural oil reserves and subsequent shortage of oil precluded extensive fleet operations.